Social skills are tools that help us build relationships with others. Many children's social skills were impacted by the restrictions imposed by quarantine. Many parents are now wondering how they can foster their kids' social confidence in post-quarantine times. Well, joining us today from McNulty Counseling and Wellness is licensed mental health counselor and certified art therapist, Lindsay Brooks. Welcome back to Bloom, Lindsay. It's great to see you.
Thanks for having me, Gail.
So it's been really tough. A lot of kids have been either at school and quarantined all the time or not at school at all, and now they're transitioning back into regular life again, and it can be really challenging.
Yeah, definitely. In fact, our office is seeing a lot more reports of social anxiety and fears or phobias associated with being out and about in public spaces and social interactions. And parents are just reporting more concern for their kids seemingly self-isolating despite all these restrictions being lifted, or continuing to express a preference for virtual hangouts and video gaming, social media interactions over more face-to-face interactions.
So what do you think happened during the pandemic to leave them? I mean, and I've witnessed it with, children that are even vaccinated that still want to wear their masks. They're still so fearful. What happened during the pandemic to make so many children so uncomfortable?
Yeah, well, a lot of kids had an experience with fear as modeled to them by some of the main adults in their life. And then just getting into a new groove of, maybe just virtual or Zoom style learning. You become reoriented with a new type of normal, to use that phrase. Mm-hmm. And, for a lot of those kids, they're stuck in that new comfort zone or the safety that can be seemingly provided from behind a screen. There's more predictability in what you know, and if that's what you've known for the past year or more, then it can be uncomfortable to get out of that again.
Yeah, and it's crazy because it's uncomfortable for a lot of adults that are working from home. They don't want to go back to the office.
Right.
We should be setting the example. So what can we do to help our children move past this?
Yeah, so I love this question because there's so much that parents can do. First, you got to start by recognizing and then validating whatever it is that the kid is feeling. And then I like to say start by then leading by example. So maybe forego the grocery delivery service in favor of going out and about in public and bring your kid to Publix with you. Encourage communication, self-advocacy type tasks. So maybe asking the employee at Publix for a certain item, or putting in a request at the deli when you're out to eat. Encouraging your kid to order for themselves or ask for a water refill, extra napkins, that kind of thing. And then just scheduling structured activities, because there's some safety in the predictability of structure, as well as camps and workshops, that kind of thing, if there's stuff like that still open and taking on new kids.
And I understand in homeschooling here in the Tampa Bay area and across the nation is hugely popular. Mm-hmm. But I understand a lot more parents are choosing this path because of the pandemic talk about no children because of this fear.
Right. And, to avoid the fear and to avoid those situations, even though that seems like the default reaction, mm-hmm. to avoid only reinforces the anxieties associated with those fears.
Right.
So ultimately, parents encouraging exposure, it's a word that we use in psychology to describe the confrontation of fears. And if parents can encourage that in a loving, supportive, unconditional type of way, then kids are going to learn by experience that a lot of their fears are unfounded, irrational, and they're going to build resilience and confidence in themselves.
Yeah, and I do just want to reiterate for our viewers out there that, again, if you're choosing homeschool because that's always something that you believed in, that's incredible. But if you're choosing it just because your child is more fearful,
right.
Probably better to kind of graduate them back to their normal life. And do you say doing this with baby steps? Because we are in the summertime right now. And
yeah.
Now would be the time to start taking these small leaps of faith.
Right. Baby steps. So, ordering your food from the cash register as opposed to jumping right into some new summer camp of a new interest that hasn't been explored yet. Baby steps leading up to a greater goal, and certainly getting involved with some counseling for, extra support and facilitation in that process is what we're here for.
All right. Well, Lindsay, you're so informative. We really always appreciate when you join us on Bloom. Thank you.
Thanks so much for having me, Gail.
And for more information, you can visit McNultyCounseling.com, and we'll be back with more Bloom right after this.